Hi class, my name is Natalie Acton and my presentation today will be taking a closer look at search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. This topic is very broad and has many different components, so today we'll just be looking at some of the basics. So let's begin with what is SEO. According to the Moz.com Beginner's Guide, which is a site that I use to research on this topic. SEO is a marketing discipline that's focused on increasing the visibility of your site in non-paid search engine results. This SEO encompasses both the technical and the creative elements on your page or your site that are required to improve your rankings, to drive traffic to your site, and to increase awareness in search engines. So we have this relationship that is between you and the searcher and the search engine. And with SEO, we are trying to increase that relationship and to strengthen it. Okay, so why is SEO important? Well, search engines are the primary method of navigation for most internet users. Most people, when they come to the internet, they're looking for something specific. They're going to type in a search. So these search engines are the roadways that provide targeted traffic or people that are looking for what you specifically have to offer to your site. On any given day, people conduct more than 2.2 million searches, and that's just on Google. That information I got from Neil Patel, and you can see a link to his website there. That was another place that I did some research on the SEO. So the goal is to be able to get on the first page of the Google search. Most people are going to be clicking on the first 5 links, and very rarely do they go on to the second page of those search results. So we want to try and have our website pop up on that first page of the Google search. And as you can see with this image that I found on the Moz.com Beginner's Guide to SEO site, Google searches make up 80% of the searches that are made on the internet. So really that is what we're catering to. That's what we want for our goal, is to make it to that first page of the Google search. The Beginner's Guide to SEO also mentioned that investing in SEO can have a higher rate of return compared to any other types of marketing or promotion. So it can have a great effect on your business. They even went as far to say that search engine traffic can either make or break an organization's success. So we can see with this information that SEO or search engine optimization is very important to the success of our business and something that we should make sure that we're aware of and utilizing. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the different elements of SEO. The first element that we're going to take a look at is the title. We've learned a little bit about this in our class already, that it is important to think carefully of the title that we'll put within the title tag. We want to use a primary keyword in our tag, and we want to have it be close to the start of the tag, and this is so that it will pop up in the query search. And the same goes for our meta description. We want to be really thoughtful about the words that we put in our description, and again trying to have some keywords that pop in there and that will be similar to what's in our title. So just wanted to take a quick look at some of the examples that they had in our required reading for the week. So down here we have, up here we have an example of the title. So they've got their keywords here, best lip balms, and they've got that right close to the beginning of their title. So you can see how when the search was made, this website right here showed up in the search above one that had the lip balm later on in the title, and even this one here. I'm not sure if that's just because it says best lip balms. It didn't go into detail about that. But you can see how that shows us the importance of choosing a good title. And then down here with the meta description, we have the meta description right here that showed up in the search, and you can see how storytelling is in bold. It said if we've got some of these keywords that are similar between our title and our meta description, then it'll show in bold right here, and that increases the visibility. So when we're first structuring our page, those are two elements that we want to be really thoughtful about. And we'll just take a look at this example over here as well. They talked about the importance of our headlines. And again, you don't have to have everything be exactly the same wording, but trying to keep in some similar keywords that when the user goes to your web page, when they click on that result that showed up on the search, that they can find what they're looking for quickly. So we want to have those keywords that stand out and that correlate between the title, the meta description, and our headline. So let's go back to our elements. That brings us to structure. So talked about the importance of making sure that we have good structure in our web pages. That is to make sure that the search engines can recognize the content. Then within our headline, we already discussed that a little bit, and same with our body. It's important to have some familiar keywords. We don't want to overdo it. In the reading, it said to be really careful not to try and push too hard to have the keywords in there. Just have it be natural, but we do want to be thinking about that in the content to make sure that we're including some of those keywords. And then in the beginner's guide, I thought this was very interesting. I had read about how it's important to have the unique content and unique value. And actually, I think it did mention that in our required reading as well. The importance of making sure that the words that we use on our page don't occur in the exact same order anywhere else on the web. So we want to make sure that we're trying to be unique in the way that we're describing things, and also unique value, meaning that, what are we offering the user that they wouldn't be able to get somewhere else. We want to make sure that the information that we have on our page is useful and something that they can take away. Which brings us to the next element here, which is the overall user experience. And that leads us into some of these other elements over here. So when we're working with web pages, we will be ranked on the overall user experience. And the better the user experience is, then the higher our ranking will be with some of those algorithms from the search engines. So they stressed the importance of making sure that our web pages are loading correctly, that they'll load on various browsers and devices, and we've learned about that a little bit already in our class about the importance of making sure that our page is responsive to the different sized devices. And then also we want to make sure that it's easy to navigate throughout our website. So if the user clicks on a page, they'll easily be able to get back to another page that they were previously on, or they'll be able to find the information they're looking for easily. So it's important to make sure that we have a good working navigation and that it's visible and easy to understand for the user. One thing that I thought was interesting is that it stressed the importance of both internal and external links, and that this actually does contribute to the ranking that a website is given, which in turn dictates where it shows up in the searches. And I just wanted to find here what I had written down. So it said to make sure that as you're having links within your website, that it doesn't take the user any more than 4 clicks to get from any other page on the site. So you don't want them to have to be clicking through a bunch of things to get to what they're wanting. But it also said that it's important to provide useful links to relevant information on the topics that you're discussing. And so if you have some keywords that link to another page, then to make sure that you are including that link, that they could just click on that word and it could take them to the other page that is relative to that. And then also to have links to external pages if you're citing information, to go ahead and include the link to that. And I thought that was good that we had that included in our lesson just this last week, of being able to include a link to the open weather map, since we were citing that information. Okay, so then that brings us to images. And with the images, we have also looked at this within our class, the importance of making sure that it's a usable file such as JPEG, PNG, or GIF. And to make sure that we have a smaller size, to make sure that our site speed is as fast as possible. When we're titling our image, we want it to be a short and simple title. And then the importance of having that alt tag that's describing the image in a little bit more detail. It said that one thing that I read was that the alt tag, when an image is linked, that alt attribute is treated similarly to an anchor text in a text link. Oh, sorry, I can't talk. So it was just saying the importance of, thinking carefully when we're making that alt description for our images. And then, of course, the optimization is what we already discussed about having the images be a size where they'll be good quality and yet load as quickly as possible. So one thing that I did come across in the reading was, and this was from Neil's site, he just stressed the importance of being careful when we're doing our keywords, not to do what they call black hat descriptions, and that is where we are just trying to optimize our content solely for the search engine. We're not really considering the human aspect of it, and to be careful, and that can actually end up harming your site when the algorithm figures out that you're just trying to bend the rules and just fit in as many keywords as you can without really having them be useful or relevant. And so that's in opposition to what we want to be trying to do, which is the white hat. And that's where you focus more on the human audience and you're trying to make sure that it's overall good user experience. The other thing that I just wanted to mention was they did say that one other thing that can affect your rating is the bounce rate. And the bounce rate is when a visitor leaves your site after viewing only one page. So that goes back to our element that we talked about, having the internal links. So if we can have internal links that kind of lead our user through our website, then that increases our ratings. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an overview of search engine optimization. There's some great resources out there. I have included the websites here of the sites that I looked at. The Moz.com Beginner's Guide to SEO had a downloadable PDF version of the guide if you wanted to be able to have that and access to that. They had some really great information there. So